the open earth, catching sunlight like children trapping fireflies in a mason jar. We poked holes in the lid, they said, so that they could breathe and live. I think this is a myth because my mason jar lid has been airtight sealed for 17 years, and that's only because I was too young to remember if I breathed at all the 3 years before that. But for all I know, I shit, cried, spoke, giggled, and caused headaches, backaches, and nausea just as well as the next kid. And my mason jar lid was sealed. From the outside in, we couldn't see far past the glassy obstruction of our rounded corner home. My mother said, play nicely with the neighbors, but they threw rocks at windowsills, never windows. I asked once why that was, and they replied, we just want to scare you in, not let you out. I used to run headfirst into rainbows, hoping to trip over my pot of gold-plated tables stacked high with family time discussion. How was work? Okay. How was work? Okay. How was work? Okay. I kicked bombshells into safe houses, blew stability to pieces, and joined Daffy and Bugs on their endless argument of duck season versus rabbit season until I got tired of the back and forth and I shot them both. I don't get along well with others. It shows in the size of the dents on my shin. From when I jumped without looking into borrowed thought crowding my landing pad. There was no safe exit, no bright red door marked this way out, or follow me if you want to live. Only somebody make the right decision here because I don't want to be responsible for something I have no chance in enjoying, rejoicing, after we decided just to stay put and die together. Here, in the back alleyway of our hypocrisy, where we used to attempt to convince women at bar stools in their life that we were well worth the wait and that we promised not to hurt them. We always hurt them. We always judged those that did it first and just wore the same shoes to match their footprints. I never saw one better than the one I saw at Epiphany Circle where we discovered religion. It's got no place here. We all claim God but don't see God and won't see God because He dropped our sorry asses long ago after we sacrificed Christ again. The second coming was short-lived, and we had sins that needed repented, so we saw that this had worked before, and we decided to try it again. But Christ opened His palms too often to hold hands, and we just gave up on Him, gave up on being with Him, just gave up. And now here we are, spinning circles through square rooms, too much extra space in the corners, but nowhere to put it all, everywhere to belong. We saw a chance at rewriting time, and we pressed the reset button outside my front porch. Hanging like a personal lynching noose, I found I was too oiled up with regret and greed to not slip out of anything. Sometimes I wake up on the side of the bed holding grudges, holding me down, blanketed by my fears, and I never sweated so much in my sleep, so I apologize when you wake up and find me shriveled up into guidance. I just couldn't handle the heat, so I burnt down the kitchen. My echo stream is rubble. If you could speak for me, I'd appreciate it, because my tongue is far too slow these days. I'll chalk it up to my second job as an auctioneer. I'll sell my forgiveness. 50 cents a bottle, but be careful. All sales are final. There are no refunds. No, I've not begun to regret where I've been. I found my skin locked away underneath my hair. It hid all the scars I gained from the dents in my shin. I never learned to land right, so I just kept opening wounds and bleeding out ideas like falling trees. So when you shout timber as I reach my final descent, make sure you're standing on top of me so that everyone can hear you and they can watch me fall to pieces again. Outside of my front porch, I stood face to face with Christ. I extended my hand to His in a gesture that had, please envelop me into you, and I will be the one that helps give you your wings back painted all over it. But He just shook His head and said, my palms are stained in the sins you have already committed. I don't want to share my germs, so I'm sorry I cannot shake your hand. And that's when I saw it. My weight of the world floating lightly on His shoulders. You see, I'd like to tell you what it felt like at that moment, but I don't know, because Christ can't shake hands.